Yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is Steve Landau and Julie Stark from EmbRace Tucson, Embrace Your Inner Athlete. Welcome to our show today. We are so honored to have Abdi Abdirahmi with us today. Hello, Abdi. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, thank you. It's a real honor and a pleasure. Uh, just a little brief background on Abdi. Abdi came to Tucson in 1989 at the age of 12 from Somalia, just as the war was breaking out. He graduated from our own Tucson High School in 1995, and he attended Pima and the University of Arizona, where he excelled as an All-American. He is a four-time 10,000-meter national champion with a PR of 27:16 at the Pre-Classic in 2005. He is, with his third-place finish at this year's Olympic trials, Abdi made a record 5th U.S. Olympic team and will also be, sorry, Abdi, the oldest U.S. Olympic runner ever. Quite an honor.
All right, thank you.
Yes. So let me ask you this first question in our show today. How has the lack of competition affected you physically and mentally, or are you just having fun as usual?
To be honest, for me, being as older athlete, it just give me more time. I'm just the person. I look at every diversity. I look at it just a positive way, the good side of it. I know we are going through a difficult time, and it's not easy, and the lack of competition is difficult. But trying to make the best out of it, I'm just saying, just give me more time to recover. Just a recovery time for me. Basically, leaving the best leave. So just taking a year off from competition.
And recovery is a great thing. I mean, a lot of us think we just need to go hard all the time, and you have to take those breaks.
Those breaks, I think sometimes about recovery is a part of training. Even it's more important than training.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. One thing about the Olympic trials, and then Julie, you chime in with the next question. So Abdi, at the Olympic trials, it was written that you were chatting it up with Jacob Riley in the last few miles of the race. What were you trying to do at that point?
To be honest, as an athlete, I knew it was a three of us, and only 2 spots left for the Olympics because Galen was already gone. So, and I was feeling good, and sometimes even, I was feeling good, but I wasn't sure if I'm gonna be the third or the second guy or the fourth guy, and I just need someone to work with me. So whenever I make a move, whoever come with me, I was trying to encourage that person to come on, let's work together. Let's get away from the guy who behind us who's gonna be the fourth place. So for us, and then I just told Jacob, I said, you got this, man. Let's work together because I kind of feel his weakness and his strength. So and I just want to see how he was feeling, and if he was able to reply my conversation. And sometimes kind of psychology thing, the mind game that you play. If someone respond to your conversation, that means they're feeling good. So when I talked to him, he wasn't replying. So, and I thought, what? I wasn't afraid of him at that point, but I was afraid of the guy who was at fourth. And that's done. I caused me getting second place, actually, to be honest.
I bet you it helped him.
Yeah, I helped him too. Yeah.
He should have thanked you.
Oh, he should have.
Well, the fact that you could even talk while running that pace is an awe for me. I mean, one word, I could breathe yes, no, but to carry on a conversation, oh my. So I just was wondering, or we were wondering, with the delay of the Olympics, how you feel that, or if at all, will impact your readiness if in fact it does go next year.
We, at the end of the day, as a human being, just the COVID-19 that affected the whole world, it's not only Olympics, it's not only sports, it put the whole world on their knees, from economics to the basic needs, everything. And at the end of the day, sports is a hobby and something that brings us together. And but when you cross at that point, for me, to be honest, I'm sad the Olympics are not going to be happening 2020, and it's going to happen to 2021. And I don't think that will affect my readiness, because as an athlete, I always have that motivation to represent my country. And it will even give me an extra motivation because of what we went through, and we want to put a great show for the whole world, and also represent your country and your city, your state, your friend and family. So it's just gonna be, I would just always have that extra motivation. You will find that motivation from your family and state and city, so in your country.
I really appreciate your perspective, because there are much greater and more important things going on in the world right now,
Like,
who don't have what we have in this country, and who are really having a very difficult time making it through their daily lives. So,
yeah, it's interesting because you know, people think of, you know, competition and racing, but there is this whole other dynamic that I think the outside world doesn't realize, is that we're a community. We are a running community, and it's, yes, we enjoy the competition, but really it's the people, it's the connection. And we've lost that, but there are other people that have lost so much more with the virus, and we will all come out of this, I think, stronger and closer in the end when it's over.
and I definitely agree with you that 100%, because at the end of the day, you know, sports is something we do for fun, to be honest. Like, you know, we love competition, and it's something that we enjoy doing it, and it's a hobby, and it's just always, you know, we motivate us. But at the end of the day,
Him again.
yeah,
there he is.
There you go.
oh yeah, at the end of the at the end of the day, you know, we will come out this one stronger than ever, and we're gonna learn from this thing how important life is and what's important in life. You know, sports is a hobby and something and you know, just I look at it as a positive way, to be honest. You know, just like sports, you know, we can learn from sports too.
Mm-hmm.
Mental fortitude, physical fortitude.
Yep.
Let me throw these. I'm going to throw out some quick questions to you, Abdi. Make this take it to a little more fun than talking about the virus, which we all been talking about so much in our daily lives. But we want to find out some interesting things about you. So, some favorites. I'm going to ask you. Your favorite running memory.
My favorite running memory, it was at 2000 Olympics when I took the lead in 10,000-meter finals, when I passed Haile Gebrselassie and Paul Turgat, because I thought the pace was too slow. And that was my first Olympics, and I was 21 years old, but I didn't know I was running with the legend of sports, and I passed them.
And what was your finish in that race again?
10th place.
10th place. But passing them, that had to be a thrill.
Yep.
All right, next question, next favorite. What's the favorite event you've ever run in, and what's your favorite distance to run?
My favorite events I ran into was a New York City half marathon in 2007, when I finished second to Haile Gebrselassie. And my favorite distance to run, now I have to say, is the marathon.
Now, right? How about this one? Your favorite last mile of a race and your favorite finish line?
My favorite, it have to be the 2008 U.S. Olympic Trials 10,000 meter. My last medal, and my last finish line have to be New York City Marathon when I finished third, my first podium major.
That was exciting. I watched that on TV here, and I was rooting you on. That was awesome.
Thank you.
And what's your most favorite place you've ever run a race?
Oh man, I have to say New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
You know, the Big Apple, big city and bright light. You know, just New York. It never get better than that. Not even bigger. So New York City is the.
And you've run all over the world.
I know I run all over the world. I've been to so many places, but I think New York City is the place.
Yeah.
Just like how often they close at the Times Square and you run through it where there's no one, it's just only you as a runner.
Good point.
There's only very few of us that can imagine that in reality.
All right, well, we went with favorites, so now we're going to ask you some tough questions. So Who was your toughest competitor you've ever run against?
Oh man, there's so many of them. My toughest competitor, US, I have to say, I have to say Matt Kefaleski.
Oh,
It's interesting. I just watched the Boston documentary from the 2017,
Yeah.
and I was watching him on there. So it's interesting you said he is definitely tough.
why is he the tough? Why is he the toughest?
What do you say?
Why
Why
do
is
you
he the
think he's
toughest?
the toughest?
That because I have run against him many times, as he ran at UCLA, I ran at the University of Arizona. It just, we just always have that rivalry, and we took it out to the next level. He ran for Nike, I ran for Nike, and we always meet up at the US championships, and he always brought his A game.
Okay.
What was the toughest event or race that you've run?
Toughest events, I have to say, toughest events I ran was the 2008 Olympic trials for the marathon in Central Park. That was one of the toughest races that I ran because it was the distance. I was a 10,000 meter runner before that, so I have to run a full marathon, and I didn't know how hard it was gonna be, so I took lightly for the distance, but I paid the price. That was one of the toughest races I ran.
Yeah. And then how about what is the toughest distance? Have you, I honestly, I'll admit it, I don't know if you've done anything greater than a marathon, or if that is, in your opinion, the hardest distance you've run, or
The hardest distance I run is the marathon.
because you leave it all out there.
Yep, definitely, exactly. You empty the tank on the marathon. You go like a 440 per mile, so it's not as easy as people think.
Can you imagine, Julie? 440 miles.
No, that's why I said the fact that he's carrying on a conversation with somebody during a race, I'm like, I could say yes, no, but you're talking and you're supporting your fellow runners. I love that. So
I'm going to leave you with. I want to leave you with one last question that I just thought of, Abdi. Tell us about your experience and the wonderment that you had when you first got to Tucson in 1989, coming from Somalia.
Tucson was. I think I could have not asked a better place to come to when I moved to the United States than Tucson, because Tucson was just it was a community, it was a small community, welcomed us with open arm, and it was just an amazing city. And at the same time, I remember landing. The first place I landed in the U.S. was in New York City, see the lights, everything, and then we took a transit flight from New York to Tucson, and then I landed in Tucson. Even though I thought we came back to Somalia because it was kind of dark, was different from New York, and I said, "Are we back home to Somalia?" So, but other than that, Tucson has been amazing. Just been a wonderful city, nothing but support. And I can see myself living somewhere else in the country, even when I'm done running, than Tucson, to be honest.
What amazed you the most, though, when you got to America? What conveniences of life when you got here? What was like? Oh my gosh, I can't believe they have this here. What is this?
Just like at the first, it was the grocery shops where you can go to grocery shop, buy chocolate, buy Coke, buy everything that you could ever wanted in life. As and in Africa, like the food was more important. Food and chocolate, candy, everything was important. But go to one place, you can buy everything that you wanted. It was just amazing. That's what amazed me. And I still remember to this day going to the grocery shop at the Friday, buying everything that said chocolate, lump, oranges, everything.
We don't realize how good we have it here. We're spoiled
Yeah,
country. Well, Abdi, we want to thank you so much for coming on with us. It really is an honor to be able to speak with you. We've all seen you on TV and just been amazed at what you've done. And we wish you the very best in health and in what you do coming up into 2021, and we hope you have the best Olympics you've ever had.
All right, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.